Well, hi guys, this is Dan. So apparently I'm back making tutorials just because I thought it's worth it for astronauts. There's just nothing out there, so this is the first one and we'll talk about controls because trust me, watch it, you will learn something. So basic controls for the game are not as obvious as you would think, except for of course camera up and all that. But so I'm an ESDF gamer guy, and I would just explain the controls themselves, not which key you should add them to, so just be aware of that. Camera up, left, down and right is you moving about on the screen with controlling your character. Toggle tooltip, don't know about that one yet, so we'll just leave it alone. Center camera, that one is kind of good when you're on a big ship. So say you're down here somewhere and you just want to go find your character, then you hit that button, gets you right back. As for camera zoom in and out, that one is really good for if you're getting tired of the scroll wheel, because it's also very abruptive, and if you don't want to mess with the sensitivity, then I have it bound to keys, but they're bound to the mouse. So I'm actually controlling this through my mouse. Now, rotating camera counterclockwise and clockwise I have removed because that usually is game breaking for me as things start to get messy. It just doesn't work in this stage of the game, so don't bother with rotating the camera. Pan camera faster or slower, that is nice. So left shift, this is regular movement. I'll leave the cross there. Regular, fast, and slow. Ship controls, also not as obvious as they should be. Thrust up, down, left, right makes sense. Turning counterclockwise and clockwise, that is of course rotating the ship. This comes in really handy for aligning your ship when you're docking. Thrust adjustments when using the fusion reactor. And of course on the planetary side. Locking thrust, that one is a good one because it's a must-have for planetary side. Once you're using propellers, you have drag through atmosphere, and you will need that to keep your ship moving, and you just adjust the speed with your thrust lever. Attitude is basically just a button to stop your ship from rotating. There's also a switch on the panel. You can push with the mouse, or you just hold that button and it will stop the ship from rotating. Station keeping, that one is very important as well for two things. You want to match your speed before you dock, so it just helps you gain time, match the speed, and make things much easier to understand, especially when things are rotating. Sometimes ships are spinning, and you can match at least the velocity with it. It prevents your ship from drifting, so sometimes things are moving in space, and yeah. Time controls are kind of interesting, but using the mod actually is nicer, and then I usually find myself clicking up here more than anything. But yeah, the shortcuts from a mod give you the ability to just jump straight to 4, 8, 16 speed, which is nice.
Are you still paying attention? I hope you are. It is worth it.
Inventory controls, quick move item, as well as grab singular. The shift click or quick move, fast move, is holding shift, click in an item, and will move it into a available spot either in your hands or in the inventory. The scrap cannot go anywhere here in my inventory, so it moves it to the hands. Cannot, unfortunately, drag these items. You have to have some space, so if it's crossed out, not good. Then the take single or take one item, so you have the item and you hold the control, and then you can just drop one item. This is interesting when you have a stack of, say, food or water, yeah, just consumables, and you just want to use the one, drop one, use it. The eyedropper, that one just simply applies to ship editing. It's yeah, just like in a photo editor or paint editor. You hold the button, click, and it will select that item. Rotate item, that's self-explanatory. Highlight nearby is something that, so it's obviously on semicolon because it's it's on my mouse. So that's really interesting. So we can see here it's all lit up, right? If I hold that button, we can see, and this applies to every item, things that you can access or manipulate. It does not apply to parts, I guess you would call that, right? Pins and all that, as well as you can see the circuitry. Now, into the next room. Here I can showcase basically what this is really good for. So obviously we have a light on the suit and we can highlight things, but it's not as obvious, is it? So when you're going through a ship and you're looking for things and you don't want to miss anything, you hold that button and things can show up very clearly. This also applies to alarms, again, you know, things that can be manipulated. Well, obviously you have to be in range. You can hold the button. Again, I have it on the mouse and you can still walk around and it starts highlighting obviously anything that's in range. Now, here's the thing. So there's a wall here. We walk around, boom, obvious. I let go of the button, not that obvious. Now, you will find that there's also toggle floor visibility and wall visibility, which you will not have in your game because this is added through a mod. But we do have power visibility, the zone and gas visibility. So power visibility is pretty handy because it shows you the circuitry in a ship as well as items that are maybe not powered, not hooked up. So this is crucial for your air pump operation, battery hookups, as well as spotting possible salvageable lights, which are otherwise hard to spot. And then we also have the zones, gives us the ability to specify rooms in our spaceship as a hall, barter, or forbidden zone. And this is absolutely crucial for when you're on a terminal and you want to purchase or sell items. You can change the color in here and you can change the name and what the zone does. Gas visibility just gives you the whole indicator here for the gases. If you move around, it even explains you what is what. And if you stop, it also shows temperature. Cycle crew, that is obviously for cycling through our crew members. Okay, so now we have a crew member, we hit Q and we swap to him. It doesn't like switching around characters, especially if you're not on the same playing field. So if one character is on the ship, another one is on the station but on a different level of the station, and you swap accidentally, it doesn't always work and you just end up having to reload. Alright, the toggle wear tooltip, really handy. So white is good, red is basically broken, dark red is, yeah, needs repaired and then restored. You can mouse over things and see the condition and then apply a task for your characters to repair or restore. Now the other cool thing is it does show battery charge, but it does not show the canister charge. The canister condition, but not how much is in it. That's, you still have to click that. And speaking of, so you can either keep clicking with the mouse and you go through things, or you can just select off whatever is on that square, and yeah, you can, if you click it again, then it goes away. But you can click that and you get gas contents. But yeah, the wear indicator is even better when you combine it with the mod that has the wall and floor visibility. So we turn on the wall visibility and we can swoop around quickly and check the walls. And then for the floors, same thing. Just make sure you prioritize the things that are broken. Okay, so quick action. That's basically just your shortcuts on the toolbox. down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you also have 6 or 5, 6, 7. So if you hit those, we can, for example, expand this. That might come in handy. But when you're talking to someone and you ended up with a lot of different choices, I think this is just more convenient. And then this is just scrolling. You can click it as well. This just brings you right back down. Again, it's something you can add to the mouse. Like I have it on the mouse. When you have a conversation, like there's 16 items here, so you can obviously click that and eliminate 4 there. But yeah, action reset. I just demonstrated. Just resets down to the bottom of the list. So where you have your quick action key 1, 2, 3, 4. And expand, that's the expand feature for the action box. Debug, you will definitely need that. So I would recommend you use it. And I set it to your regular back quote. The debug feature, of course, does not work at this point because we have to activate it first. So we go hit F3 for the debug console, which we'll get into detail later, but we would do unlock debug. Now it's activated. We can close this window, and if we hit the debug key now, things come up, and they're really kind of confusing. But why we really want it, at least for my PC, the prune NPCs button seems to work for all the stuttering that I get. This is a processor related issue, I think. Unity games don't like AMD by the looks of it. But yeah, I need that button, and that does help us a lot. Escape, escape, enter, enter. All very self-explanatory. Fog of War, that one is not as useful as you think. What's more important is the visual filters. So Fog of War basically just removes things around here. Now if you combine it with even that, it makes no difference, right? The visibility filter, that comes in pretty handy. We can cycle through it, so F8, and it has a couple different features where I think this one, where it makes everything really simplistic, does help us a lot. I mean, the game can be overwhelming at times, and just trying to get our character back quickly to places. So I find this one helps the most. Although, once you have the mod with a wall visibility, it's a little less game breaking. I prefer that. So when you're in a big ship and you carry things over and you just want to quickly send the character away, maybe you have a different crew member, so let him do that. Switch to crew member, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, a little less game breaking this way. Screenshot, self-explanatory. This also works with F12 still. The debug console, recommend you do put that on F3 or something rather, so that we can run controls. Save game, you will definitely need that a lot. I have no idea, switch control panels, what that does. If you're in a control panel and you use this, it makes it sound like the thrusters. No idea, couldn't tell you. And then the nudge selection up or down, this is obviously just, it's actually not obvious. This is just for the ship editor, so that you can move a selection around. So as you can see, it will always delete whatever it interacts with.